uwager.lv, sportsbook, and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
Are you an athlete or professional struggling with life or career transition? Life isn't always easy, but hope is always present. Best Hope Counseling will help you move forward. For nearly a decade, licensed marriage and family therapist Larry Baumgartner has helped clients empower change and discover solutions using a solution-focused therapy approach. Conversations will focus on what you desire to change, not just the problems that brought you into counseling. From anger to depression or other emotions, Best Hope Counseling is there for you. Contact Larry personally on his direct line at 727-946-1346. Again, 727-946-1346 for a telehealth appointment in Florida and Minnesota, or in person an appointment in Minnesota. Take time out and begin your game plan to reconnect, rebuild, and restore happiness in your life. BestHopeCounseling.com. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And how do we start off this show, as we always do here on a Monday, Wednesday night, and of course, post-game editions, pre-game editions for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, USF. Bring your passion, bring your excitement, just don't bring any nonsense. Bet you're wondering why I didn't have a time clock tonight. Bet you're wondering why. At least we're on, right? Early? Thank you very much to Facebook for not allowing me to share my content, because either A, somebody reported it, or B, Meta doesn't like me sharing my content. So thanks to that, that's always good. So if you could out there, you're watching the show, please share, like, and follow, as always, the Sports Web on YouTube. Of course, I Love St. Pete on Facebook. Share and follow. And of course, get on the phone lines tonight, because we got Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire of the Sports Web. And of course, we got the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach, Scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports, to talk about what else the Tampa Bay Buccaneers picking up their first loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. What are your thoughts tonight? Still have confidence in this team going forward? I do. But I kind of got on this show and said, you know what? I think the Bucs could win this game. And they certainly had their opportunities to win the game. In case you didn't catch the post-game edition live from Raymond James Stadium, they had opportunities, multiple opportunities in the first half, and they squandered them. Guess what? Can't do that. Can't do that versus an upper echelon team like the Eagles. I still think they're upper echelon. That's not to say the Bucs are not that far away. They're not. So definitely want to hear from you tonight. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Your Tampa Bay Rays just took care of Boston 5-0. There is a wild rumor out there that Wander Franco could be reinstated by tomorrow. It's just a rumor. But I put it out there from the JP Peterson show in a poll, and it was overwhelming that if he has been exonerated, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. I'm not excusing it. I'm saying if he were exonerated, found not guilty of those allegations, would you accept him back? Again, open phone line for that. You can go ahead and comment on that. Comment about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you think they're ready for the Saints on Sunday? Without further ado, let's go ahead and get out to my co-host. Here we go. Professional handicapper extraordinaire of the sports web, Mr. Harry the Greek. Welcome to the evolution of sports talk television, my friend. How you doing tonight?
Good evening, Peter. How are you tonight?
Great. Vented a little bit. It feels good because I'm not able to do that at the day job, but it's always great when you find out that you're not able to share your show and share the sports content, which, by the way, guys, 500,000 reach in the last 90 days. Thank you very much.
That's 500,000 reach.
You're damn right, and that's because of guys like yourself, fans out there supporting the show, and of course, this guy right here. Here we go. From our Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports, Mr. Leo Haggerty. Welcome to the evolution of sports talk television tonight. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, guys. How about yourself?
Well, let's get down to it, guys. Enough with the intros and all the congratulations. But once again, 500,000 reach for the sports web content, which is amazing in itself. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Even though Facebook restricted me for some reason, we'll go ahead and work on it on Sunday. With that being said, lots of things to work on, guys, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll go out to you, Harry, first. You give me your initial analysis, and then we'll come out to you, Leo.
Well, you know, I'd love to give you a whole bunch of excuses. It was a bad pick on my behalf, obviously, and any excuse that I'm going to give and why the Buccaneers didn't cover the spread or even win the game is going to sound like I'm making an excuse. Watch the game tape, especially the first quarter. Look at some of the mistakes that happened. I think Tampa could have been in this game, if not won this game. I don't care what the statistics say. Philadelphia, Peter, unfortunately, is not an upper echelon team in the National Football League this year. They have a lot of holes, not defensively. I'm talking about on their line. I'm talking about their secondary. That secondary could be Swiss cheese, and Tampa just didn't take advantage of it, especially running a lot of 7-step drops. But the other question is where was all that 12 personnel that Tampa was supposed to run? There wasn't any. Tampa had a really good game plan. They didn't execute. The end, that is my analogy of it. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for giving you guys Tampa on the money line.
Well, no, that's all right. Don't apologize for that because we have you.
No, I'm going to apologize for that. People bet their money.
You gamble at your own. You listen. You gamble at your own risk. Okay. I mean, if you're not able to make decisions like that yourself, sometimes, then oh well. You did the best that you could, and honestly, I felt like Leo. They missed some opportunities, namely a Mike Evans who didn't necessarily have his best game, although Evans makes up for it in that fourth quarter. You told me something off air. You don't think that any team is going to be able to do this again versus the Bucs. Why do you say that?
Oh, absolutely not. Name me another offensive coordinator who is going to commit to the run as much as the Eagles did. Guys, that was old school, ram it down your throat football.
Yeah.
Again, you're not an offensive genius running the football. Well, I'll tell you what. The offensive coordinator with the Eagles, Coach Johnson, he doesn't care. He did the same thing to the Vikings. The Buccaneers aren't going to see that for anybody who's patient enough to run the football. Harry, it's what you and I said. When you run the football, you control the clock. 39 minutes, the Eagles had the football. It's hard to win a game when you only have it 21 minutes.
Philadelphia had them right where they wanted them, Leo, to be honest with you, because they ended up taking the lead. But in that first quarter, if Mike Evans catches that touchdown or even a couple of other plays, if Tampa had to leave, you're not going to run the football the way it did. Those are some of the things. And again, I just don't want to seem, and this is one of the reasons why I didn't really want to. I understand we have to talk about the Buccaneers, but it was my game of the week. And I honestly thought that this team had a chance of winning this game outright. I'll tell you one thing Tampa did well. Their secondary played a lot better, even though they got burned on a couple of plays. You didn't see as many wide open receivers as you did against when they were playing the Bears. The problem was that Justin Fields just didn't see wide open receivers for some reason or another. And I said that Todd Bowles would clean that up, and he did. Defensively, they didn't play a very bad game, but it kind of got away from them a little bit. They kind of got wore down, as you know, when Leo was talking about the way the Eagles were going to run the football. With that being said, the tables would turn the other way, and I think there might have been a different outcome had the Bucs taken an early lead in that game.
Yeah, and I mean, it comes down to that because you settle for a field goal, and most likely you have a Mike Evans touchdown there. You also
and no 12 personnel, please. I got to throw that out there. There's no 12 personnel. You know who I'm talking about out there. There was no 12 personnel, because if there was 12 personnel, that would have been an uglier score. Tampa never would have scored in the game. Okay, that means they were playing defensively. And another thing I want to address: why are you running 5- and 7-step drops, Leo, against a defensive line like that? That 1-2-3 throw, the slants, the little quick outs, the hitch routes, then you burn them going deep. Running 7-step drops against that defensive line, arguably the best in the entire National Football League, that was just absolutely insane. And I honestly thought that O-line for the Buccaneers played their ass off, considering the game plan that they called for them.
Yeah, Harry, I agree with you. You know, you got those two Georgia studs up there, and Carter, he leads the National Football League in quarterback pressures, and he's coming right up the A-gap, and right in Mayfield's face. I didn't understand it either. Run the football to create the play-action pass and slow down the rush. And Harry, you're right. If the Bucs have the lead, they can run the football a little more, but they got behind. Everybody in the universe knew they were going to pass it, including the Philadelphia defensive line, and boy, they just came after.
No, what I was saying was that Philadelphia wouldn't have been as run happy had the Bucs taken that early lead. I think that would have been a little different. Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, hold that thought there. Let's go out to our phone lines. Leading it off tonight, Mr. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, and of course Leo Haggerty, the legend himself. Go ahead.
Fellas, as much as I hated the fact that it was a nationally televised game, and surprise, surprise, they showed that the Eagles are still the defending NFC champions. But if that would have been a day game, Leo, 1 o'clock, like it was last year when the Bucs defense was taking IVs by halftime, could have been a lot uglier. But you guys are right. They hung in there. Now, 25-11, that score did not feel that close at all. But I still think that you didn't see quit in this Buccaneers team. And it goes back to 2020. The Chiefs came in here, Tyreek Hill scoring touchdowns left and right, calling the president, trying to get help for us. And we got beat soundly by them. And how did the end of that season happen? Not the same thing with an NFC team, but this is a team that if the Buccaneers were to see again in the playoffs, I think scheme-wise, we come up with, we'd be able to have a little bit better of a game against them.
And I tell you right now, Devin White
line them up again right now.
Well,
line those two teams up, 12 o'clock, midnight. Don't give a damn. Line those two teams up again and play the game plan that you're supposed to play, Tampa, and you come out on top.
Well, listen, I'll say this.
Lie.
I'll say this. Devin White talked about this, saying that they're in their own division. They're not in their own division, but they would see him again, maybe possibly the Bucs would be in the playoffs, but he wasn't 100%. That definitely hurt that Bucs defense because they pride themselves, second in the NFL coming into it, getting gashed for over 200 yards of rushing. And I think one of the big plays, gentlemen, was Devin White right before halftime has an opportunity there, and he's dealing with an injury, a groin injury, and he's not able to take that interception back for a pick six because he assumed once he got it, he was going to the house. But it wasn't to be. And again, That turnover right there could change the game. Also change the momentum.
Should have had 2 picks, Pete.
Yeah.
Should have had a touchdown in the first quarter. Should have had 2 picks in the first quarter.
Yep.
I mean, it's just it's the what ifs. But you know what? The only thing they're going to remember it by, Ray, you're going to agree with this. It's still an L. It's a loss. It's over.
Yeah.
That's what the record is exactly what their record is. And I'm telling you right now, line these 2 teams up again. The line's going to be Philadelphia -7 or 8 because they beat them by 12 or 13, whatever the hell the score was again.
Sure.
And I'm saying they're going to cover this game. And I'm not trying to act like a homer. Trust me when I'm telling you this. I'm just telling you what I've seen in the game. Even you just said it, Ray. You said it best.
Yeah.
The score really didn't show to be that because you honestly thought that the Bucs should have lost that game by even more. Man, I'm telling you.
Could have been. Yeah. Now, Pete, you and I talked about this going into the Rice USF Bulls game Saturday after that performance against Alabama last week. Which team was going to show up? And I think as far as your 2023 Buccaneers, which team's going to be in the Big Easy this weekend with Jameis Winston at quarterback, with that Dennis Allen defense? That's the team you got to see rebound. Now, if this team goes to 2-2 after this weekend's game, they are a divisional opponent, the one that was favored to do so. But I don't think we're going to see that. I think this Buccaneers team in 2023, they're doubling down. I think we're going to see a very, very different game.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are getting 3.5 points on the road against their former quarterback, just to let you know.
Well, yeah, and he's got an opportunity.
Guys,
yes, go ahead, Leo.
Ray, you're on to something. When the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl, every team they played in the playoffs, except Washington, who was terrible, they had already seen during the year. And I can remember asking the Bucs secondary people, did you realize how fast Tyreek Hill was on film? No, we didn't think he was that fast.
Right.
So again, that was a primer. That was just a preliminary, because now when you get to the playoffs, and if you get the Eagles, you know what you're going to get. The one thing about the Eagles is they don't try to trick you and dick you. They're just coming at you. And if you shut down that run and you make Jalen Hurts stay in that pocket and throw it, comes a different dynamic.
Well, it becomes a different dynamic, and I know that Harry and Leo, and we've all mentioned about this running game with Rachaad White running it, but they did nothing, and I think that was not just because of White. That was because of the offensive line. Harry, you saw the offensive line tape. How disappointed were you by it? Because you look at Pro Football Focus.
Stop right there.
Well, hold on. Pro Football Focus.
I'm not disappointed.
I think they were disappointing because they didn't create enough holes there. Baker was pressured all night long. That line has got to do a better job, especially the interior with Matt Filer, Robert Hansey, and, of course, the rookie there on the right side, and, of course, Luke Gedeke. That is the biggest question.
I'll take the bait, okay? First off, I'll tell you what I think about PFF. Is that what it is?
Pro Football Focus.
Okay, I have a different acronym for it, to be honest with you, because that's exactly what it is. What I watched was a team with the wrong game plan. And when they committed to do something, they were able to get the sticks moving a little bit.
Right.
Tampa opened up the game trying to push the ball downfield when they should have been running the football. That was the issue. It was the other way around. You are not going to have that much success running a 5 or 7 man drop in the passing game against that defensive line. Sure. And when you do become predictable and running that football, that defensive line for Philadelphia is going to swallow you up. Again, if Tampa takes the lead, it kind of keeps Philadelphia back on their heels, and they're not going to be getting after Baker as much, and they're going to have to play the run a little bit better. And the 2 studs from Georgia, they're not running up the middle and creating all that pressure. That entire first drive for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers dictated exactly what was going to happen in this game. If they ran the ball and would have went 3 and out, not even scoring it, let's just say they went 3 and out, at least they were committing to the run and slowing down that pass rush. So I am not disappointed in their offensive line. Do they need to play better? Yes. They went up against the best defensive line in the entire National Football League, and they held their own.
And you know what, guys? Here's what disappointed me about the game plan. How could you not look at your offensive line and look at their defensive line and say, hey, we got to keep an extra guy in to chip. We got to keep the back end to chip.
Amen.
Because these guys are better than our guys. And again, it doesn't take a genius. We all see that. That's a good defensive line. Give them credit for it. Your guys are still coming. You've got 4 guys out of the 5 at a different position than last year. So again, it takes 6 to 8 games for an offensive line to become fluid and to be collaborative. Hey, here's my SAT words.
Very nice.
Leo word.
Yeah, and that's what needs to happen. Hey, by the way, I'm going to jump off subject real quick. Hey, Ray, did you like the press box of the post game with Peter?
Leo, I can only, first of all, you've forgotten more than I'll ever know. And I got there and I talked to the entire staff from Amped Up, and what a great staff, photography, just loving it. And I said, look, I'm not Leo, but I did sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. I said, I don't know what he knows, but I said, if you all need anything, I'm your guy. Leo, 100% loved it. I appreciate it for Amped Up. Anything you ever need, I'm there for you, brother. And yeah, it was a great game. I just love what's going on. Alex Golesh, I love this Bulls program, Leo. I think they've turned some kind of corner. I think good days are ahead.
I think so too. And that was an important win for them. But I digress. Back to you, Peter.
Well, and I tell you right now, I would say that you're kind of like a made man now. So maybe Leo can work on getting you back in there, and we can have a trio. And who knows? Maybe if Harry, I don't know. I don't think Harry really wants to be in the press box. He just wants to be an analyst at this point.
He's got the JP show. So let him have JP Peterson. Let me have the Bulls. Let me have my thing, fellas. Horns up. Come on.
Hey guys, I don't work Saturdays anymore.
Well,
come on.
Okay, well, you don't work Saturdays. All right.
And people that know that I'm not with Bridgestone anymore. Yeah, let me look in the camera. I'm not with Bridgestone anymore. Do not buy Bridgestone tires. They suck.
Breaking news. Hey guys, can I ask a question?
Go for it, man.
First of all,
yes,
totally. And I'll go even more off subject than you, Leo. But I'll ask you first. Of the 3 of you, has Devin White started to produce the kind of season that's going to get him north of that $100 million contract in 2024? Not, or does he still have a ways to go? What have we seen so far?
Can Leo? I take this right now? The other night
he
was hurt and he shouldn't have been on the field, and he wasn't able to shed a tackle. That's hurt. You can't really control the injury situation.
He looked limited, Peter, but he played his ass off.
Yeah, he's played his ass off. He's played his ass off the first 2 games. I didn't like, again, he shouldn't have been on the field, but it just tells you, how much Todd Bowles really cares about White and how this organization feels about him, how he gives them the best chance to win from their backups, right, Leo?
Yeah, and you know what? Let's take that right back to Baker Mayfield. He went out with Cleveland hurt, literally hurt, but he gave them the best chance to win. Now, that endeared him with his teammates, didn't help the next contract. That's the same thing right now with Devin White. His teammates are going to love he's out there being the warrior. But again, they look at production. They look at that. Let's see what happens when he gets healthy. Hopefully he'll get healthy. But I'll tell you what, that groin is a nagging injury. You just got to get to the bye week and hope you can heal it then.
Yeah, you're not sure if he's going to play this week. And, of course, the challenge is the New Orleans Saints with Jameis Winston, I believe. Isn't Alvin Kamara back also? I mean, here's a team that blew a lead here, Harry the Greek. I mean, how surprised were you by that? Derek Carr goes down with what? You have been talking about it all year long. I feel like you're kind of foreshadowing to that fact. A shoulder injury. Sure enough, he has a shoulder injury. What do you say about this Saints team? What do you see with this Saints team in this Bucs matchup?
Well, first off, I want to pat myself on the back a little bit. That's why he's not a New York Jet, because he couldn't pass the physical. I told everybody there was something wrong with the shoulder. He can't throw to his left. He played his ass off for the first part of the season. But what am I going to see with this game? I see Jameis Winston under center. I see 2 or 3 picks, maybe 1 or 2 turnovers. He still has no backside presence, and they're going to ask him to do a lot. He's going to be over amped up. And Alvin Kamara, he's going to be on a pitch count. How effective is he going to be?
Yeah.
So seriously, how effective is he going to be? And I think it's one of the steals of the century. The Bucs will end up getting 3 to 3.5 points in this game.
All right, Ray, go ahead and finish up here because I know you're about to get out of your car. So go ahead and give me some final thoughts, and then I'll get out to Leo. Go ahead, Ray.
Well, Leo said it. He said Warrior, and I just want to go ahead and report that the JV Osceola High School Fundamental Warriors did beat the Boca Ciega Pirates tonight over here at Warrior Stadium.
Whoa! Congrats.
How do I know? Because I call the game. So come over here and have some time. Hey, support prep sports, guys and girls. These kids are out here. And as much as I get down about the Bucs losing to the best team in the NFC Monday night, or other things going on, there is just nothing better and more pure than prep and up through high school, college, and all the way to the pros football. So support youth athletics. These are our leaders in our future. So make sure we get them out there and show them how to compete, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Love the show as always, Peter.
Appreciate you, Ray. Good stuff as always right there. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. Leo, let me get back to another concern here, and this happened on Monday night. You lose Jamel Dean to possibly a shoulder injury. The Bucs are looking at William Jackson III, another veteran corner. How concerned should the Bucs be about this situation, especially with Carlton Davis and, his turf toe? I mean, both of those corners going down. D. Delaney could be hurt. He practiced today. You had Kalijah Cansey practice, Savasier Dennis practice, but the corner situation really is concerning for me. What do you say?
Oh, yeah. You know what? They say that, in baseball, you can't have enough pitchers. In football, you can't have enough defensive backs because they go down like flies because they're spending a lot of time tackling. When you're back there, you're just not back there covering. You're tackling. And again, nobody wears knee pads anymore. Nobody wears shoulder pads that go past their shoulder. So again, there's not a lot of padding on these guys. And when you get hurt, you play hurt. When you get injured, you can't play. And that's the problem. A lot of Bucs are getting injured right now.
Yeah, lots of Bucs are getting injured, including Villa, who came in with the pectoral injury. Easy for me to say, but I still think that defense was there. They did keep them in the game, even though they gave up lots of yards to DeAndre Swift. So with that being said, I want to go back to the running game because Todd Bowles was asked about this, and he said, we didn't have one. And, of course, the Bucs rushing.
You got to call it.
Right, extend. Through the first 3 weeks, the Bucs have posted just 234 rushing yards, 27th in the NFL, with a league worst 2.8 yards per a carry. Harry, do you think this is going to turn around versus the Saints on Sunday? Why or why not?
It's got to turn around. You can't get any worse. I mean, this isn't like last year when they want to pass the ball 50 or 60 times a game. They are going to try to commit against the run. They're going to try to run. Did I just say that the incorrect way? I feel like an idiot.
No.
I think they're going to commit to the run is what I meant to say, and to set up the pass. I think this team will do just fine running the football.
All right, what do you say, Leo? Is this a good matchup for the Bucs to finally use?
Not a good matchup because they got a really good run defense, but
Right.
I think they're going to commit to the run. And do I think they'll average more than 2 point whatever the hell it is? Yes, I think they'll be in the 3.5 range.
Harry, you stole my thunder. That's exactly what I was going to say. They got to look at game film and say, hey, where can we run? They got to be selective. You're not going to run at some of those big bruisers inside because your guys just aren't ready for that yet. But yes, they have to commit to the run. They can't be 60-40. They got to be closer to 50-50. They can't throw the ball 35, 40 times. That's just too much. They got to be running the ball 20, 25, 30 times. You got to actually try not to get 2 yards.
Mm-hmm.
You just fall forward. You're going to get 2 or 3.
Yep.
So, again, I'm concerned about the game plan because they didn't try to do anything tricky. They tried to go mano on mano in the best defensive line in the NFL. Especially with their size. I'm just hoping that they do a little forward block, they do a little cross block, they do some pulling against the Saints because I think if you get on the edge, that could help them.
We know the long history here, guys, with the Saints in this matchup with Marcus Lattimore versus Evans, and it's always a tough matchup for him. It's actually they go back.
No Gardner Johnson though, so it's not going to be that bad.
My question is, if they do focus on Evans or Lattimore once again does shut down MK13, do we look for Chris Godwin? Because I feel like he hasn't been featured enough in this offense. Harry, what do you see out of Godwin, and do you think he has a big game versus the Saints for this offense?
A great point, Pete. I don't think that Godwin's not been featured. Okay, I mean, look, man, Evans is your number one wide receiver. Godwin's a better wide receiver, and I think he's gotten the proper amount of touches. My own personal opinion. I think they've targeted Godwin the proper amount of times. Evans is always going to get the most targets.
Yeah.
He's wide receiver one. That's not going to change until either A, they get rid of him, or B, he retires. But I think if they do lock him down, they're going to go to Godwin. But hey, don't hold your breath. I don't think Lattimore is going to do what you think on Evans this year, in this game, especially the way that Evans played in this past game. I think this is a redemption game for him.
I like it. Leo, what do you say?
You know what? And Peter, I preach this. I got a 6'5" wideout. Don't tell me he's not open, because as soon as he turns around on that 5'11" defensive back, he's separated. You just got to throw the ball in the right place, high and away from the defensive back. That's the key. Yep. And again, you can't take away somebody. Everybody talks about that. How do you take them away? Well, you can bracket them, play inside, outside, you can play over, under. Still, there's going to be a spot he's open. The key is, can you protect Baker Mayfield long enough that he can wait for him to come open? Evans should have 8, 9, 10 catches Sunday. He should.
I have to agree with it, but I do think that they're going to take a safety, put him over the top, and I think they're going to play a lot of zone, especially on the side that he's there. I don't think you're going to see a lot of single man up with this defense, which New Orleans is known to do a lot. But I think they're going to switch it up against the Buccaneers, especially on that side of the field. Wherever he lines up, it's going to be a zone. So they're going to expect Mike Evans, they're going to force Mike Evans to run to a soft part of that zone to turn around and catch the ball. And hopefully Tampa doesn't get frustrated and they just take the chunky yards to get them downfield.
And you know what, Harry, you bring up a great point, because New Orleans is notorious for playing cover 0 against the Bucs.
Yep.
They're just saying, okay, you're going to try to beat us. You're going to beat us. We're going to put pressure on your quarterback. But you're exactly right. I expect to see some combo coverage. I expect to see man on one side and zone with Evans on the other side.
Yep.
The way to stop that is you go 3 by 1.
Yep.
You put 3 receivers to one side, you put Evans as the weak side. Now you can't do that, because guess what? It's not like Notre Dame. You're only playing with 10 men. You don't have 12. So that's
right.
The problem.
You're absolutely correct. What a great point that was. But I'd love to see him do that to the other side. The problem is, I don't know if they're going to do that. And I'll tell you what New Orleans did do. They did that quite a bit last week against the Packers. They were playing zone on one side and man up on the other. That was pretty interesting. And after watching this is why I'm kind of touting this game a little bit. I think this is a redemption game for the Bucs. Another game that they're going to be an underdogs. And I'm licking my chops, guys. I understand Tampa Bay secondary is pretty banged up right now, but their front 7, if you can get a couple of those guys healthy enough, tell you what, you can make a mediocre, crappy secondary look like world beaters if you're getting pressure on a quarterback.
Especially with Clyde Cansey practicing today, coming off that calf injury. Hopefully he could be ready for this game, because I tell you right now, he showed flashes of brilliance, gentlemen, versus the Minnesota Vikings, with giving Kirk Cousins that kidney shot. Leo Haggerty, go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. Well,
you can catch my daily blogs and my daily posts on Amped Up Sports, Amped Up Sports 1 on Twitter, ampedupsports.com on the website. And I'll tell you what, a little under the weather here, guys. So I will not be traveling to New Jersey this weekend, so I'll be around to watch everything that's going on. And guys, I look forward to being with you again next Wednesday.
Sounds good, my friend. Get healthy, get back here to Florida, and we'll see you soon here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. All right, boss?
Take care, guys.
All right.
Take care. Bye, Leo.
Stuff there. Let's go ahead and come out to this shot. I like that right there. Let's go out to our comments. Open phone lines. Don't be scared. If we have guests on, it doesn't necessarily mean you can't call in if you don't want to.
Don't be scared.
Yeah. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Mike. Do you think Wander Franco will be back next season? Of course, that rumor has been running rampant on Twitter. There's no verified sources for that. But I put out a poll today in care of the JP Peterson show, and it was overwhelmingly in the favor of, if Franco is exonerated and found not guilty of those allegations, that he should be welcomed back. And I tell you what,
I agree.
Let's go out to the phone lines here. The tribal troll.
Acknowledge me.
Who, by the way, I'm going to put this out there,
Don't do
owes me money on a bet because the Bears lost to the Bucs about $100, a hundo. Welcome, Roger Shue, to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. What is on your mind tonight after your...
That, first of all, that bet is null and void. I was under the influence of alcohol.
No, that's bull.
I agree with him. I agree with Roger.
You don't play like that. You bet me you're going to pay the piper, and I'm the Pied Piper here on the sports web. So you're paying
Roger, ignore the nonsense.
Listen here, you
ignore the nonsense.
I'm bringing the excitement. I'm not bringing the nonsense.
You are full of nonsense.
Hey, Roger,
because you're welching on a bet.
Can you see your screen, Roger? I absolve you of all sins.
Oh, get out of here, both of you!
In the name
really?
of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Trask.
All right, Roger, what do you want?
You need a Father Nelson.
Shut up and be quiet.
All right.
He knows that wrestling move all too well.
I don't want to know anything about that wrestling move. Stop.
I'm going to show you all about it, bud.
All right, be quiet. Roger, go ahead.
The Chicago Bears suck.
Yes.
So you're ready to give up. You're ready. You're just ready to go home.
Ready to give up, buddy. They need to blow that thing up. You know what, Peter? You got to take me. I'm going to take myself out just for a minute. I'm going to come right back. You had to bring something up, and I got to get a drink, man. This is ridiculous. Don't go anywhere, but I'm coming right back. I am literally going to get a drink. Now I'm going to go on a rant.
All right, so there you go. So you got Harry all worked up. Go ahead. We shut up. Go ahead and talk about your Chicago Bears after being 0-3. How disappointed you are.
No. I'm not talking about them.
Why?
I'm not acknowledging them.
Why?
They're not worth my time or my effort.
Why?
I don't have years left in my life to go on with this nonsense.
Oh, jeez. So then become a Bucs fan then, right?
Well, no.
They won 2 games this year. What do you mean? They won a Super Bowl in the last 5 years, not 35 years.
How about I just not root for any NFL team?
Oh, so you're just going to be like that now. That's no fun. So tell me what the problem with the Chicago Bears is. Justin Fields, offensive line, offensive weapons, coaching. What is it? What's the problem with the Chicago Bears? How would you solve it?
Well, let's start with Virginia McCaskey and work our way down.
Okay.
There's the problems. Everything from top to the bottom, to the water boy. The water boy should be fired too.
Okay.
Yes.
So everybody being fired. That's gonna help matters here as Harry the Greek is coming back here to the scene. Let's go ahead and see what he has to say here. Let me add him right there.
So Ralph Williams with the #1 overall pick next year.
I'm not happy with #1 pick. It'll be #1 and #2. What are you kidding me? We're gonna have the top 2 picks in the draft next year.
Well, you see what the way Carolina's going right now as you're. What are you drinking right now?
You really don't want to know.
No, I don't mind. Was it brown liquor?
This is a really, 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 really high-end bourbon, and I mean, it is just delicious. Thank you, Roger. You had to push me over the edge, right?
Well, I mean, I asked Roger this, Harry. Go off on a rant here. What's the problem with the Chicago Bears? Is it Justin Fields? Is it the offensive line? Hold on, Roger.
You had Virginia McCaskey and work your way down.
All right, Harry, you go.
I wouldn't go so far as Virginia
How would
McCaskey.
you pick?
God bless her. She's 99, going to be 100 years old.
She's 100.
What do I think that's wrong with the Chicago Bears? I think they did things ass backwards since Mark Trestman.
Wow. Okay.
Let's start. Even prior to that, they fire a head coach that makes the playoff with 10 wins with Lovie Smith. Then you bring in a pedophile-looking dude by the name of Mark Trestman. Then you bring in 2 head coaches like John Fox and Vic Fangio. One's a D coordinator and one's the head coach. None of them wanted Cutler, although he ended up being statistically the best quarterback ever in a Chicago uniform. Then you draft a Justin Fields and then get another head coach in Matt Nagy. That's not his guy. Then they fire Matt Nagy, but under Matt Nagy, they get Justin Fields, and now he's not their guy. So it's just just keeps rolling.
Mm.
Not everybody can be blessed to have a general manager like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have, ladies and gentlemen. However, what do I think is wrong with this team? They didn't do very much to address the offensive line. They've been injured on the offensive line. Justin Fields looks like a complete robot. I've never seen a quarterback with that much talent regress. But then again, since 2000, I implore anybody to tell me, since 2000, tell me one quarterback from Ohio State that's been a quarterback in the National Football League, and I'll rest my case.
Joe Burrow.
From Ohio State that actually played and graduated from Ohio State, Joe Burrow. Peter, do me a favor. Hit the "this guy sucks," okay? Just one time. That's for you.
This guy sucks.
Well, he did play at Ohio State.
Peter?
He didn't finish his career. What, Roger?
Peter, Harry will vouch for me with this.
What, Welcher? What do you want, Welcher?
I've been absolved of my sins by
Oh,
Father Greek.
you're full of nonsense at this point. You have been absolved of nothing. You owe me $100. That's it.
The Green Bay Fudge Packers have had 3 starting quarterbacks in 35 years. How many have the Bears had in 35 years?
Well, I agree.
Please, you're getting me upset, Roger.
And Jordan Love now
you're trying to give me a heart attack. Now you're hurting me.
Now Jordan
Love he stinks too. But Jordan Love, will you stop?
I mean, he's got his team right now, 2-1. There'd be 3-0 if they
they're just
Atlanta.
They're playing. They really beat a good team last week. They got so lucky to beat New Orleans. Trust me when I tell you, they're not that good.
Hey, listen, it's better to be lucky than good, right?
But let me tell you how good. Let me tell you how good the Chicago Bears team is.
Mm-hmm.
You listening, Banner? I can see you in the chat sections out there, Tom Banner. They're playing a team that gave up 70 points last week. And I'm predicting the Bears won't even put up 21 against this team.
Okay.
Oh, I agree completely.
All right. Roger, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. You're cut tonight till you pay your bet. You don't bet me and then not pay me and say, oh, I was under the influence.
Wow, you did it to me.
I did not do it to you. I paid my bets off with you before.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. That's right. I did. Let's see here. All right. So Wander. Christopher Cole says somebody probably reported it. They probably did. Awesome, Pete. Peter, Greek, and Leo. Congrats, guys. Absolutely. KR says, sorry. Christopher Cole says, Harry, you can't handicap injuries. KR says,
true.
The O-line played soft. In my opinion, they just didn't open enough holes for the running back. Agree?
Okay. That's I can agree on that.
They're going to have to clean it up against the Saints. Agree. Mike says play too conservative. Should have torn the Eagles secondary to shreds. I feel like that should have been their game plan because of all the injuries that Eagles secondary had. And instead, I really don't think they took advantage of it because of what you said, the missed opportunities by Mike Evans, drop passes there.
The misinterceptions, the dropped passes, too many 5- and 7-step drops, not enough 1, 2, 3s, hitting that soft spot that Philadelphia was leaving all night long in the middle of the field that Tampa just refused to see.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Agree with that. A lot of things to clean up. Everyone, Shadow is here. Thanks a lot, Shadow.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks a lot, Mike, for all the comments. Thanks a lot, KR, for the comments.
Flawless victory.
And of course, thanks a lot, Christopher Cole, for the comments.
Boom shakalaka.
Gotta make up for it here. Sitting says go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Yep, I still got the Byron. I'm back. Thank you, Gabrielle.
Gabby, hold on.
Yes.
That's my girl Gabby. Who you ever need a ride coming into town, call Airport Rides anytime because that's exactly what she does. All you got to do is look it up on Facebook. You just tell her Gabby. Tell Gabby the Greek sent you. She's going to hook you up.
All right, there you go. Mike says, I don't think it's indicative of the offensive line or White's run game. Eagles have a stout run defense. Agree?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go out to Roger Shue. Hi, Pete and Greek. Bears are... And you still owe me $100, so stop it. Roger says we have to win against the Saints.
Roger, you're absolved.
He's not absolved from it. No, he's not. You make a bet on this show, you pay the bet. I pay the bet. You pay my bet.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. Brandon says Mays suspended, so they're down to their secondary. Mays who? The Saints. Yes, I've seen that. White needs to forget those cuts and just run forward. He has left too many yards behind. A lot of people would say that. Good comment, Tulio.
Oh, yeah.
That he is too patient. He's trying to be too patient at the point of attack. He's got great vision, but he just needs to hit the hole stronger. And then a lot of people would say, well, especially Pro Football Focus, that the offensive line is not opening up the holes enough.
The hole's not quite there. And
Right.
defenses have really been filling the gaps against him really well. I like the fact that he's been a little bit patient. Just be patient. Watch what happens. That offensive line will start opening up some holes for him.
They better. And I asked this question to Scott Reynolds of Pewter Report on the JP Peterson show. If the running game does not improve, do you think the Bucs should consider going after Jonathan Taylor, yes or no? Because the report is coming out that he still doesn't want to play for the Colts. The Colts do not want to sign him to a long-term deal. So would this be a risk we're taking for Taylor, as he's shown just a couple years ago that he's an MVP type of player?
I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think the Colts are going to let him go. I just read a report in the Chicago Sun-Times that the Chicago Bears are still interested in him, for God's sakes. Now, why the hell, if he doesn't want to play for Indianapolis, what in the world would he want to go to play in Chicago for? He ain't going anywhere. He's not coming to Tampa.
All right. Good stuff there. And, of course, that's kind of what Scott Reynolds said. Too much draft capital, too much salary. And then you would have to say goodbye to some of those players like a Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield Jr., possibly a Devin White, a Mike Evans. Of course, everybody talking about that.
Here, you want to hear an interesting rumor?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay. Justin Fields to go to the New York Jets for, you ready? Wilson, a second, and a fifth.
You would do that?
Yeah, I'd let him just go.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I would do that yet.
I would let him go for Wilson, a second, and a fifth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he's not their guy, Pete.
Well, Wilson's
okay.
above.
They could put. I understand that. I mean, he's just your bridge quarterback, and let's not forget about the backup quarterback that the Bears have, and a kid that's a gem from Liberty that nobody's talking about. And who knows, he might not be able to play a stitch of football, but I'll tell you what, he looked good in the preseason. I'm not totally giving up on Justin Fields. It's a shame that the Bears can't develop a quarterback, but you know what? Statistics don't lie. He sucks right now. It's simple.
Yeah, he's not good right now. That's for sure.
And send him to the Jets. If he wants to go to the Jets and they can pull that deal for him, you get a second and a fifth, and you're going to throw me a quarterback that I can get beat up all year? Sounds good to me.
All right. Mike says, what type of bourbon? Old Forester, he says?
Can't tell you.
All right. Tom says Bears 3.5 versus a team that gave up 70. That would be the Broncos. Let's talk about the NFL because we talked about the Bucs at nauseam. We'll get back to it. If you want to talk about the Bucs, get on the phone line, 727-255-0391. What has shocked you? I mean, that 70-20 score, I thought the Broncos would be much improved. New coach in Sean Payton. You feel like the defense is better, maybe better. That team is better. They got their doors blown off. That was embarrassing. In Miami, the Dolphins could be the best offense and the best team in the National Football League.
They're the best running team, and they're the fastest team in the National Football League. So who's the D coordinator for Denver?
Yeah.
And okay, now who's the D coordinator for Miami?
Yeah, Vance Joseph, I think, one of those answers there. Vance Joseph?
We'll get to that a little bit later. But the point I do want to make is one thing.
Yes, I know who the Dolphins is. Your guy.
It's Vic Fangio.
Vic Fangio, yes.
Okay, and who was just recently a head coach of the Denver Broncos? Vic Fangio.
Vic Fangio.
Trust me when I tell you, Denver will not play like that again. Ever. I mean, Sean Payton's just too good of a coach to let that happen again. I mean, I'd be very, very shocked. And no, Russell Wilson isn't done. He's just not in the correct system.
Not in the correct system at all, huh?
No, I don't believe he's in the correct system. I really don't. I don't think him and Sean Payton are going to be a mesh together. And again, here's another deal. I mean, you never know with Sean Payton. They could be looking for a quarterback in this year's coming draft. Who knows?
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, they invested a lot of money in him and they invested a lot of draft capital, but yeah, they could always turn the page, I guess. I don't know. That's the reason why you get Sean Payton in the first place, because, you know, he's I don't think he's Bruce Arians with the quarterback whisperer, but every quarterback that's played under his system has improved. So you thought the same thing would happen with Wilson, and it's not necessarily all there yet.
I think they'll play well together.
Um,
And I'm really tired of hearing about Bruce Arians being a quarterback whisperer. Name one quarterback in the first year or even 2 years under Arians' system that was super successful other than Tom Brady. I'll wait.
Carson Palmer.
It took him how long?
Take him about 2 years. Took about 2 years.
Statistically, the worst year of his career in his first year under his system.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, quarterback whisper, I ain't going for it.
Well,
I think he's had good quarterbacks like Sean Payton has had in a Drew Brees.
I know how you feel about BA, but when you're able to develop a Peyton Manning, a Ben Roethlisberger, or Carson Palmer, get the best out of, you got the best out of those players. He did. He had some.
And the Chicago Bears offensive coordinator is who? He was Aaron Rodgers' quarterback coach. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a successful coach because you're the whisperer, bro. But you don't need developing
coach of the year. BA's been a 2-time coach of the year, has he not? Come on,
yeah, but we're giving bad examples with Ben Roethlisberger, who was going to be a superstar.
Oh, you didn't know that,
Peter? You could coach Peyton Manning.
Oh, okay? You're out of your freaking mind. Because
it's easy, because you know what I would be doing if I had Peyton Manning on the offense? I'd be sitting here with my bourbon going, here's the playbook. Run what you want. I'm just going to sit here and look pretty, and I'm going to become a genius. The same thing with Ben Roethlisberger. Give me a quarterback like a Rich Gannon. Give me a quarterback like other quarterbacks that were mid-tier quarterbacks that went on and became superstars in the National Football League for a year or two and took them to the Super Bowl. And then I'll tell you about quarterback whispers.
With Peyton, he did get the most out of Teddy Bridgewater, which earned him another contract. And by the way, if it's not for Tom Brady and Jameis Winston, Bridgewater most likely is your quarterback with BA at the time. And then also Jameis Winston.
True.
He kind of turned around Jameis Winston. So my point was, again, I'm not going to sit here and say he's a quarterback whisperer.
30 for 30 club, baby.
Well, but
30 for 30 club.
With BA, right. That didn't necessarily work out. And, of course, Peyton Manning, his first year, threw a lot of interceptions. But still, you got to give him the credit where credit is due. He has definitely worked with some great quarterbacks and got the most out of them. With that being said, do you think that eventually Peyton and this team is going to turn it around? Or could this be, once again, another rebuilding year where it's a disaster where
which team? I'm sorry, which team?
Broncos.
Oh, I think they can turn it around. I don't think they're done. I think that was a fluke for 70 points. They ran into a buzzsaw. Vic Fangio had a little bit of a game plan. He must have known a lot of things that were going to be going on, with what Denver's going to do. And Sean Payton's just not going to, trust me, Sean Payton is not going to let that group of guys play like that again. And it starts this week against the Chicago Bears. They are going to mop this team up like you haven't seen.
All right, so let's go.
This will be a get-right game for the Denver Broncos.
Against the Bears.
Oh, yeah. This will be a get-right game.
Poor Bears fans. All right, Tom Banner says, ha. Roger Shue says, Pete, you still owe me for Skyline Chili in 2004. Oh, yeah, I owe you for Sky. Okay, so let's go ahead and trade
Wait a minute. Don't forget the hot dog he owes you, too, because I was there for that. I absolve you.
You're an idiot. Tom says, always said this from the beginning. Fields is a bust. Only good quarterback ever to come out of OSU is Burrow. There you go. Maybe Stroud will be number 2. He has played somewhat well.
I like Mike. I like Stroud.
I like Stroud too. I like CJ Stroud. What's the brand of bourbon Greek? Tom Banner says, send him to the Jets. No brainer. Roger says, my Fields jersey is going in the garbage.
You got to burn it first.
Harold Bears are just a terrible team. Roger says Arians sucks. You know what? You suck.
This guy sucks.
Because that coach won a Super Bowl. And he won Coach of the Year. So
great coach. Please stop tormenting Peter about Bruce Arians. He loves Bruce Arians.
I'm a BA fan.
Bruce Arians this. You're also a Byron Leftwich fan, which I told you, be careful what you wish for.
Well, listen here, jerk.
Oh, it stings a little bit.
Well, listen, I was criticized about that, and I felt like at the time with his resume that he definitely deserved a coaching shot. And I wasn't the only one. The Jacksonville Jaguars thought he deserved a coaching shot.
And they didn't do anything with him.
Well, because he wanted too much power. But at the time, you look at his numbers, and then he was able to be his own offensive coordinator.
Hold on. Jacksonville finally has a real head coach in there.
I agree. After they hired Urban Meyer, by the way. Hey, guys, I don't know who that is. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Harold is 100% correct.
Thank you.
Ray Charles could coach Manning. I don't know about that. You guys forgot Denver has 0 draft picks. They're done for a while. You're exactly right. And the Rams could be done for a while.
Well, the Rams sold their soul to the devil for the next 10 years. Are you kidding me?
Right.
But then again, they got their Super Bowl.
That's it.
They're not playing horrible, though.
6 sacks by Cincinnati's defense on Stafford. He looked old the other night. Definitely didn't look like a young spry quarterback. I mean, is that who? Let me ask you this. If I'm the New York Jets, do you call the Rams? Just let me put it out there. Do you call the Rams and say, you know what? We'll give you some draft capital. What's it take for Matt Stafford to get that albatross of a contract, which I think is like $59 million or something like that? We'll take, half of that contract. We get a veteran presence. Would Matt Stafford at this point be better than Zach Wilson behind, once again, that offensive line? Would you do
No, and I'll tell you why. Because, Peter, it's real simple. I mean, you don't have to go full screen.
I'll go full screen. Okay.
No, man, they don't want a quarterback that's a statue. I mean, he can step up in the pocket and throw the football, but that offensive line might arguably be about the same, if not worse, than what the Bears is. They need Justin Fields. They need someone that can run around all over the place. They don't want no Matthew Stafford. Jets, if you're listening, call the Bears.
Call the Bears. Okay.
Call the Bears.
All right. What else surprises you with the NFL this week? I mean, Cardinals over the Cowboys. Everybody assumed 2-0 Cowboys going to roll all over the Cardinals. They got the defense. They got the offense. And then the Cardinals just shocked the world.
Do you see where it says 19?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of those 19 wins were the Cardinals. Just to let you know.
Okay. All right. Well, so Andrew Fulbert here. Let's go out to him. If I'm the Jets, go get Jacoby Brissett.
No, don't curse me like that. Say Justin. The J was correct. Justin Fields. Say Justin. Let it roll off your tongue.
See, I'm not sure if the Bears are willing to get rid of him right now. If they're willing to just give up on him.
There's 3 million fans of just in the city of Chicago that are saying, "Please, New York, take him."
Well, maybe, but what if Justin Fields turns it around with the Jets? Then you're going to look back and say, "Oh, there's another quarterback."
But at least now the Bears are going to get themselves a quarterback that this regime wants. Let me start it all over again. They fired Lovie Smith in 10-6. They turned around and got some kind of a pedophile-looking guy and a guy by the name of Mark Trestman. They never had their same mojo. They never had a coach with the quarterback that they wanted. It just keeps going. It's just like a revolving door. They also, you really want to know the truth? They keep hiring a head coach and then a general manager. Okay? Think about that for a while.
Yes. And
it's supposed to be the other way around. Let your general manager bring in the people that you want. That's the problem.
Well, the Bucs did the same thing when they hired Lovie Smith, and Lovie Smith basically hired his general manager, and then after that, Lovie was let go, and Jason Light was the general manager, and of course, we know what happened there for the last couple of years, or the next couple of years. It didn't necessarily work out so well, but now it's kind of balanced itself out there with the Super Bowl building of a team. We'll see if the Bucs can get back there. But with the Bears, I don't know what to say, because I believe the high expectations. I thought Justin Fields was going to take that next step. You got DJ, but that offensive line is just so damn bad, and the play calling is just
bad.
So damn bad.
The guy's not taking off at all. He's looking at 1, 2, 3. Okay, I see him. I don't know if I'm supposed to throw it yet.
Right.
Bang. He's holding onto the football longer than anybody in the National Football League. Look, man, if the first and second read, forget the third, if the first and second read aren't there, run. It's simple as that. Use what the good Lord gave you under your waist. Those 2 things called legs. Run. Do what you do best. Run and throw the football. Not throw the football and sit in the pocket. I'm sorry, sit in the pocket and throw the football.
All right. Ed says Justin Fields. He agrees with you on that. Andrew Fulbert. Harry, you can't have Caleb and Marvin and ruin.
You're right. I don't want Caleb. Andrew, you're absolutely correct, but I do want Marvin, and I want the QB from North Carolina. That's who I want.
Drake May. Why Drake May? Explain yourself.
Taller, bigger. a type of prototypical quarterback that I personally like, someone that has a little bit of mobility, not a ton of mobility, and someone that can throw the ball like a cannon downfield. But Marvin, yeah. Hey, get used to it, guys. They're going to have the first and the second pick in the draft this year. Maybe first and third.
Certainly possible. Hopefully he doesn't.
Haters.
I tell you what, you go back to it. Darnell Wright has played well for you guys, but you watched Jalen Carter the other night. Do you think that the Bears, the way that Carter plays on the field, we always talked about off the field, that's the reason why they didn't draft him in the first place. Do you think they regret that? Do you think the Falcons will regret not drafting a Carter?
Look, man, I really liked Jalen Carter. I remember having some debates with you.
Yep.
We were going back and forth. Jalen was going to be a problem, this.
Yep.
I was high on the kid, and I knew once he went to Philadelphia, it was a mistake. But then again, we'll see in a couple of years down the road. I mean, look.
I think that's fair.
The young man on the offensive line, look, I think he was the steal of the offensive lineman this year.
Okay, and I tend to agree with you. I definitely think he's a lot like Tristan Wirfs, and I wanted him there at 19. Let's see here. So Marvin, Caleb, I bug, haha. Ed says Justin Fields right there again. Andrew Fulbert, the big board. If you want that
that's true.
Quarterback, wait a year for Drew Allaire from Penn State. I would say 2 quarterbacks right now that are on my top of my list. Caleb Williams, and I'm definitely going to go with Michael Penix. Watch this kid out of Washington, putting up phenomenal numbers. He's from Tampa, so maybe.
Wait a minute. So we're not talking about Shedeur Sanders anymore being like the best thing since the second coming of Christ?
How surprised were you by that result with Oregon 42-6? Seriously.
I don't know. You want to go back and listen to the tape to the first week we were on the J.P. Peterson show when I turned around and says, let's see how good this team is when Oregon comes around?
Yeah.
And I just started smirking, going, a lot of things are going to be coming to reality.
Well, there you go. There's your reality. What else surprised you with NFL Week 3?
There were a lot of surprises in Week 3. I mean, but then again, when you're handicapping games to be 19-7, I'm very blessed because the first 3 weeks of the season are probably some of the most difficult weeks. This is when you start making some money. These are the weeks that you see the teams that are really going to be for real. You're going to separate yourself, pretenders, from the real players.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. There's a lot of good games coming up, and this is when we can make some serious scores.
Yeah, you definitely can make some serious scores. Who do you like this week? I know we're going to do a show, but right now, in fact, let's go to Thursday night game. Well, what's the Thursday night game this week, and how much do you like this game?
God, I hope Alex Loosemore is not listening to this because I always swore up and down that I can't give Alex any kind of props. Detroit's only -2 in this game.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes to 2.5, being a road favorite, I get a little paranoid because then the Green Bay magic can happen, and plus the 88% rule. We all know what that is because I preach it all the time.
Sure.
If the road team is 2.5-point favorite at game time, 88% of the time the home team will win. But it's not going to be. Look, man, Detroit's a favorite on the road in Green Bay. Don't be afraid. I don't care if they were -4. They are going to destroy the Green Bay Packers tomorrow.
Wow. All right. There you go. So Lions over the Packers.
Andrew, if you tell him that I said that, I will hate you.
Let's see here. Let's go out to Ed trying to help the Greek. Andrew, wow. Ed trying to help you out, buddy. There you go. Ed, you haven't called the show in a while. Why not? Are you scared off by the Greek? You and the Greek are friends. You're trying to help him out. Help out. Call the line.
Hi, Eddie.
Penix is phenomenal, says the big board. Absolutely. Tom Banner says give Pageant a shot. Look at Brock Purdy. I have no problem with what Poles is doing. Eberflus reminds me of Dr. Death Days.
He's talking about my boy, this coach right after, which I'm not allowed to call him that on your show anymore. The one that was after Lovie Smith. Can't do it. That's what he reminds you of.
Oh, you mean...
Can't say it. Don't do it.
I know what you're going to say, but he kind of reminds me of the guy from, what's it called? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is the villain. You know who I'm talking about?
Dude,
That's what
I don't even want to talk about it.
I know you love Trestman. Trestman, he loves Tampa Bay. Remember, coach of the Tampa Bay Vipers, man. They did such a great job there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He's
then
a-
Roger wants to say, Pete, listen, I'm not ready to. Come on, let's not do that.
He
Okay?
looks. I didn't say he was. He looks like somebody.
He
I
looks
gotta tell.
like-
I gotta tell
He looks
everybody
like
the story now.
villain. He looks like the villain from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. What was
Look,
his
bro,
name?
I don't remember his name, but I will tell you this. I'll never forget it. The first time he took the
Damn
sideline.
it! You don't know the name of the villain from? You know what? I'm gonna take. I'm gonna
Who
go.
is it, Peter?
I don't know what his name is. Damn it.
Okay, so while you're looking it up, I
Yes.
will tell you the little quick story.
Go for it.
Mark Trestman is the head coach of the Chicago Bears. It's game 1. I don't remember exactly what they did. We're watching the press conference, and as soon as he appeared, my wife, who had 3 beers, was looking at the TV screen going, "Oh my God, he looks like a pedophile." I'll never forget that, and that stuck with me the entire time. Every time he come out, he's like really creepy. You're right, he is.
I see if I can get this. I'll see if I can copy this image. I don't think I can. I have to show this, but yeah, it's his name is Slugworth. That's his name, Slugworth.
Slugworth?
Yeah, Slugworth. That's his author, Slugworth. Yeah, it's the guy in the Willy Wonka. That's who he looks like. He looks like that guy.
Yep.
Okay. Shut up, Roger Shoe.
This guy sucks.
All right, so let's go out to the phone lines. I don't know where we're going with this. Thank God for phone calls. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Pete, it's Kurt. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? This is a different number or something. We gotta get.
No, I got a second phone, man. So
You got a burner phone, then, huh?
yeah, man.
I got 2 phones.
He's
One
got
for
5.
the plug and one for the low.
He's got 5 on it. It's a legit burner phone because we know how Curtis rolls here on the sports web. So what's up, man?
Well, I gotta keep up with Harry the Greek and Bling Bling Blake. You know.
Oh, well, there you. I love
that.
that. Bling bling.
Bling, bling, Blake. Oh, God. Really?
Yes.
You had to give him this one?
Yes.
Now I'm the Rolex reporter. I'm the Bling, bling, Blake.
Bling bling Blake.
Oh, my
What's up,
God.
guys? How you guys been doing?
Oh, good, man. I'm ready to eat some steak.
I'm okay. So I actually just got off work. I'm off this weekend
okay.
because my son has a huge football game in
Thank you,
Eastridge,
Jesus.
in Claremont Friday.
Right.
So I'll be out of town this weekend, but I will be back next week
Okay.
sometime.
Okay.
We'll come up and
I know
visit you, man.
my GM will be in Monday and Tuesday. I will be here Monday and Tuesday.
All right, sounds good. I don't know what Cole. What are you talking about? Wow, this is a weird show. Well, you always watch it. It's not a weird show.
Hey, listen,
it's a show.
Listen. If we can't be weird in today's world, man, forget about it. All right.
I'll tell you
All
right
right,
now.
you guys want to talk about weird? I
talk
was
about
sitting
weird.
at a traffic light at the corner of Park Boulevard and Seminole Boulevard. For those of you that don't know where that's at, that's in the southern part of Pinellas County. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm sitting at a traffic light and I'm looking over to the left and I was like, would that guy write his license plate in a cardboard box? No, I got a little closer. And you know what it said?
What did it say?
I identify as registered.
You're such an idiot.
This guy sucks.
I'm not the idiot. I was laughing hysterically. And I just want you to think about this for a second. I identify as registered. Really?
Cole's right. This is a weird show.
Really? Cole, that's weird. I identify as registered. Really?
Congratulations. I'm glad you identify as something.
My question for both of y'all is, I understand that we're early in the football season, but are things a little off this football season, it seems like to me?
A little bit to me. I don't know why. It just seems weird. I don't know why it's off. I mean, Cincinnati to me is off. Joe Burrow, ever since he signed that contract, is off. You got Taylor Swift taking over the NFL.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Everybody who signed big contracts this year has been off. I'm sorry, but Daniel Jones, yeah. They should have paid Saquon Barkley.
Wait a minute. Where did you hear that from on this show? Did I say Daniel Jones did not deserve $40 million? I mean, I get it's the quarterback market, but I told you the Giants weren't that good. Did I not?
I think they paid him a little bit more than $40 million, Pete.
Yeah, they did about $42 million or something.
Let's if I hear one more person say that the Dallas Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders, but they just got destroyed
by the Cardinals.
I do not want to hear it.
Who, by the way, the Giants beat last week, the week before. Just
right,
exactly.
Being down 28-7. Yeah.
Yeah, but they came back and won.
Yes, but they shouldn't have been down 28-7 to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I know, Pete.
Listen, I love Peter. I love you and Harry. You guys are football. You talk real football.
Yeah.
Anybody who watches Harry's show, Harry and Peter's show, you want real football, watch this show.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. My buddy's a diehard Cowboys fan. Dak Prescott has had one of the best offensive lines since he has been the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Correct.
Why is everybody make all the excuses in the world for this guy?
Because they paid him, something like as a top quarterback in the league, and they expect him to fulfill those expectations. And the problem is that at critical times, he's just not that good. And then, furthermore, he turns over the ball way too much. And you know what? Dallas is probably not going anywhere with this guy because he's going to show them this year that he's going to turn over the ball at a critical time, and either two things are going to happen. They traded for Trey Lance as a 4th-round pick, so most likely he's their future quarterback. That's what they're looking at. That's what Jerry Jones is looking at. Two things are going to happen. Either Dak is going to be traded somewhere, they're going to give up on him and go with Trey Lance, or Mike McCarthy is getting fired.
Good point, Pete. I never thought of it that way, but did you ever think who's going to have more turnovers? Is it going to be Dak Prescott or is it going to be Allen from Buffalo?
Well, I tell you right now, he's got his own problems. You're exactly right. And you've been talking about this for the last couple of years.
3 years.
It's talented.
Just saying it, 3 years.
Right. I know you're keeping track here. As talented as he is, some of those throws you don't need to make. And shut up, Roger, about Mayfield. Mayfield threw one interception. Go ahead.
I call Josh Allen the white Cam Newton.
Why you say that?
That's what
he is. He reminds you that he's big, he's strong, he can run.
He plays the same game. He might not be as fast as Cam. He might not be as athletic as Cam, but it's the same quarterback, big arm quarterback. He can get out the pocket, he can run, but he's just not as fast. And he can't throw the ball accurately. He can't.
Yeah.
That's why Stephon Diggs wants to get out of there.
Well, and you wonder if that's going to come back and haunt the Bills because we heard nothing. All we heard about distractions, drama during the offseason, how possibly you want to be traded. Now they're kissing and making up. And if they start to not win, because there's high expectations for the Buffalo Bills this year, and clearly if Tua can stay healthy, fat Tua can stay healthy. Yes, I called him fat. So what? If he can stay healthy, that offense is going to be tough to beat. And that defense is that much better because what Mr. Harry told you tonight, Vic Fangio is the defensive coordinator. So the sky's the limit. And if the Bills eventually don't win a Super Bowl with this guy, you're going to look back and say, well, was he worth all the money that we paid him? All the resources that we gave him, was it worth it? I feel bad for Buffalo, but it may come down to that. And it comes down to Allen and his turnover problems. That's what it comes down to.
By the way, I do have Buffalo winning this week.
Okay. All right.
I'm about to jump in my ride, but before I jump in my ride, I want to ask both of y'all a question. Before I jump in my ride.
Well, hold on. I got to read this right here. This is funny. Paul, my CSB brother, who we went to broadcasting school together. He's an avid fan. I love him. Pardon me, a weird episode. FYI, is a long life Tampa Bay sports fan. I identify as a sports masochist. I'm with you on that. You have to be a masochist. God. I grew up as a Cubs fan. Now I'm a Rays fan. Bucs, Seminoles, wide right, wide left, Magic, missed free throws. I'm definitely a sports masochist here on the sports web. So I'm with you, Cole. I definitely identify as a sports masochist. What about you, Curtis? Do you also identify as that?
I mean, I'm all over with sports. All
over the Curtis. It's okay. Just tell him you identify as a Greek.
I would say you identify as an asshole. How about that?
This guy sucks.
Well,
Harry identifies.
The ladies call me Chocolate Thunder, so
Oh, listen to you, Chocolate Thunder. All right, Mark Henry. All right,
yeah. No. That's sexual chocolate. I'm Chocolate Thunder. It's a difference.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, anyway, going back to my question, Harry.
Yes,
I
sir.
love this show, man. I love it.
Dallas versus New England this week.
Okay.
What do you think?
Tough game, especially on the road. Don't like what I seen out of the Dallas Cowboys. I can't have a repeat from what happened last week against Arizona, although I was laughing at the edge of my couch. Just
Of
saying.
course you were.
But, I mean, Bill Belichick's really good at identifying a weakness and then taking advantage of it. And Bill Belichick is an absolute genius, the best ever I have ever seen, looking at tape and reviewing games, of taking your best player completely out of a football game. With that being said, stay away from the game. If you have to play the game, watch the first half and bet the second half.
Well, I want to bet the under-over that Zeke goes over 80 yards rushing.
Wow, Zeke. I mean, I haven't heard that name all year long. What is he doing there in New England?
His over-under probably won't be more than 30 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I don't usually make too many proposition bets, but if it is something that's going to be a little bit low, I do think he's going to have a hell of a game against his former team.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And I think that listen, we were playing a football pool at work. I picked the New England over Dallas.
All right.
I think New England is better than Arizona, and I think Arizona came out and hit Dallas in the mouth, and I think New England could do the same thing.
Well, they're going to have an improved offense now because you got Bill O'Brien. Maybe he's not the best coach and definitely not the best GM, that's for sure. But he is a hell of an offensive coordinator, and I think he can turn around Mac Jones. Now, Dallas, they're going to be upset with losing to the Cardinals, so I'm not sure if I'm willing to buy Dallas losing to New England, but we'll see. I want to read this comment really quick. Andrew Fulbear says, did you forget to say Lightning because you love the Red Wings? No, I don't love the Red Wings.
Yes,
I love the Tampa Bay Lightning, and there's also been heartbreak with that team, as you know, also involving the Chicago Blackhawks there.
Oh, please don't talk about the Chicago Blackhawks. I know, Harry. We love you, Harry, but please don't talk about the Blackhawks.
Hey, at least they got the best player in the draft. They got rid of Patrick Kane to get another one.
Well, there you go. We'll see if that works out.
We'll see if that works exactly.
Yes.
That kid is really good.
One more thing.
Yes.
What do you guys think about Damian Lillard getting traded today?
What a major trade that was.
Where did he go?
And, he went to Milwaukee.
He went to Milwaukee.
And he's going to join the Greek Freak. And I think it's a great move, even though you get rid of Drew Holiday.
Can we dub Harry the Greek Freak?
Oh,
I would like that, but I am Harry the Greek. You can call me Harry the Greek Freak. My wife would agree
Harry
with
the Greek
too.
Freak. I love it.
Yeah, there you go. Harry the Greek Freak. All right. It's good stuff.
I identify as the Greek Freak.
I don't care what you identify
as. The Greek Freak. Oh, my God.
I want to identify as Ralph Williams next.
You shut up and be quiet.
Ralph.
We're just going to get you a jersey that says the Freak across it.
What do you think about the move? Because it's a big time trade. All was said that they were going to go. Lillard was going to be traded to the Miami Heat. That didn't necessarily happen because I don't think Pat Riley wanted to give up the resources that Milwaukee.
Could there be another super team on the rise, and it just so happens to be in a city called Milwaukee?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think Milwaukee's trying to do whatever they can to keep Giannis.
Exactly.
Because if they didn't make this kind of move, he was gone.
Well, you know what I had heard? Believe it or not, that if they didn't make a move, and again, I haven't been following the NBA too much, and these are just sources out of Chicago, that Giannis actually had interest in going 80 miles south right to Chicago.
Yep.
That's what I heard. But now that's not going to happen.
Yep. It's not going to happen. You're exactly right.
Well, I tell you what, I really think it's going to be a weird NBA season because, we have to see what some of these teams are going to do. So you know what? I love October. I get playoff baseball. I get the start of NBA. I'm in the thick of the NFL season. And doesn't hockey start in October too?
It does. It starts, I believe, October 7th for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
We get all four major sports in October, man. You gotta love the month of October for sports.
And
brother.
Curtis, you got to tune in. I don't know if you tune in or what you saw, but I did get a new job with the JP Peterson Show as a co-host and executive producer. I'm on every day from 10 a.m. to noon. So check that out because he definitely talks Tampa Bay Lightning. He works for Lightning Vision.
I thought you were going to say you'd be stripping from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Oh, God.
God help us.
Roger says Daryl Dawkins was the only Chocolate Thunder. Andrew Fulbear says El Paso. Pay your captain. That would be Steve Stamkos. Steven Stamkos. We'll see if that works out. Bedard is going to be special.
Damn right he is.
Hey, Mike Evans.
Well, we'll see how that works because I tell you right now, he didn't necessarily have his best game, but you saw, once again, Mike Evans come up big in the fourth quarter, but he should have that touchdown, and he even said it in his press conference, he has to play better. And if you want to be a $25 million wide receiver, and I think he's worth it. Look, I think he's definitely worth it. The Bucs have to consider it. They have to see, how much they're going to pay him and how many years, whatever else, because he's getting up there in age. But if he plays consistently and hits over 1,000 yards, I think the Bucs will definitely either franchise him or sign him to some type of deal. I think they'll get it done. But he has to play better than what he did the other night against the Eagles.
Agree.
So, all right,
guys. I'll call you guys back shortly.
All right, man. Sounds good. Good stuff there, Curtis. Appreciate you. Let me give you the Ric Flair right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. No bussing tables. No, we're not definitely bussing tables. Cole says, what Charlie in the Chocolate Factory character was sexual chocolate. Either way, that boy is good. There was no character. We were talking about Slugworth, who looks like who? Mark Trestman, the former coach of the Bears and also the Tampa Bay Vipers. XFL. There you go. But
where else did Trestman come from?
His mom?
Nope. Besides that. Who was the offensive coordinator for? Have any clue?
Oh, wait.
After it was the Baltimore Ravens, but who was he prior?
Raiders. Wasn't he with the Raiders also?
With the Super Bowl.
That's right. Was he with the Super Bowl? I thought that was Callahan.
No, he was actually no. You're right. He was under. I'm not allowed to say his name. Former Tampa Bay head coach Chucky himself.
Was he under John Gruden? I don't think he was for the Super Bowl, but not for the Bucs and not for the Raiders at that time. It was Bill Callahan who was the
dude. Anybody gets a chance, just Google his image. He's kind of creepy.
Yeah, he is kind of creepy. All right, final thoughts here. You want to wrap this up, get out of here so we can do turnbuckle talk, or you got something else to say?
I have nothing else to say.
No wrestling talk at all?
No wrestling talk. Ralph, I see you in the back room, brother. Much love. I'll see you probably next Thursday on your radio show. We'll take care of it. You can catch me live here on Monday and Wednesdays. I'm sorry, Mondays are no more because he's with JP. But anyway, you can catch me here on Wednesday evenings right here live on the Sports Web as the co-host. And you never know. You might see an over-under pop up. I'm Harry the Greek. You can follow me at Harry _ the Greek Berg, whatever the hell it is. Just follow it over on Facebook and Twitter. And we'll see you guys later. Much love.
That's not fair about Mondays because I go out there, do a remote from 5 to 7. And you know what? I haven't done a show because the other night I was at Monday Night Football, and that other night before that, I was kind of tired, but I'll figure out.
Yeah.
I know. I'll figure out another time.
Oh, yeah. And to all the comments that are out there, thank you for commenting in there. Don't forget to share the show. Tip your bartenders and hit that like button.
And
I'm
also,
Harry the Greek.
And tell Roger, your boy there, he owes me 100.
Roger, you're absolved.
Oh, get out.
And as I always say, keep your bets low and your returns high. Peter, have a really good evening. Take care.
Yes, sir. Off with your head right there. Absolve that. I'll tell you what, let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll go out to Baker Mayfield, see what he had to say today in his presser on the evolution of sports talk television. Keep it locked. Are you an athlete or professional struggling with life or career transition? Life isn't always easy, but hope is always present. Best Hope Counseling will help you move forward. For nearly a decade, licensed marriage and family therapist Larry Baumgartner has helped clients empower change and discover solutions using a solution-focused therapy approach. Conversations will focus on what you desire to change, not just the problems that brought you into counseling. From anger to depression or other emotions, Best Hope Counseling is there for you. Contact Larry personally on his direct line at 727-946-1346. Again, 727-946-1346 for a telehealth appointment in Florida and Minnesota, or in person an appointment in Minnesota. Take time out and begin your game plan to reconnect, rebuild, and restore happiness in your life. BestHopeCounseling.com. All right, welcome back to the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Roger says good night, Greek. Good night to you.
This guy sucks.
Still owe me money. Cole says, that's my cue. Enjoyed the turnbuckle talk. I mean, Cole, you don't have to leave. If you want to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you can. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. With that being said, let's go out to Baker Mayfield today, who had a presser talking about the result against the Eagles and, of course, what they have to do to beat the Saints on Sunday on the Sports Web. Here we go.
A guy like you, you've had to do it, throughout your career. You're a veteran. Just your thoughts on the way that this team kind of regrouped coming back this week.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell, especially today, just the focus of just the bounce back. And we know it wasn't our best game on Monday night, but yeah, got to move on to the next one. There's a lot of important games, and especially this being our first divisional one. And yeah, I mean, we know what's at stake here, and so all the guys are pretty focused.
What did you take out of that game on Monday that you want to basically this team has to improve on?
I think a lot of it I mentioned after the game. We have to start faster. Offensively, we got to be more aggressive. With the defense like ours, there's no reason why we can't be aggressive and push the tempo and trying to force the issue for a team to try and get aggressive against our guys and let them make plays as well. So it's just, when it comes down to it, it's complementary football, and offensively we have to do our job.
The Saints is a team that you faced last year when you were in Carolina. How much can you kind of draw on that experience of what you saw with this team and what they present on defense? Yeah, I mean,
it starts up front. You got Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, and then in the back end, Marshawn. I mean, it's just their veteran leadership they have on all levels, and it's just their mentality defensively. Those guys, I mean, they're consistently physical. It doesn't matter who they're going up against. They're going to play extremely, extremely hard. They're going to present different blitz packages and presentations up front that you have to be prepared for. So it's a mental game preparation-wise for them, but then also it's physical when it comes down to game time.
When you talk about being more aggressive on offense, what does that mean? Pushing the ball? Does that mean throwing more first down? Is it?
No, just taking care of matchups, taking advantage of matchups. Excuse me. I mean, like on our first drive, I missed that shot to Devin Tompkins. Whether it comes down to actually hitting the shots or just taking the easy plays, get the first down, and then get into our groove. So just making sure that we're not having a conservative mindset against a team like that.
You see any parallels, Baker, between you and Jameis in respect of overall #1 picks, ups and downs in their NFL career, not old, and have another opportunity in front of them?
I mean, I don't like comparing anybody's story because every story is a little different. But yeah, similar in the aspect of having being the first pick, not exactly going how you want it to, but then getting opportunities to have a fresh start. So I'm a fan of Jameis, and so he's a locker room guy. But yeah, every story is different.
Baker, when you watch the Saints, they've got a great corner, Marshawn Lattimore, and him and Mike have had some epic battles. Mm-hmm. Between the whistles even at times. Do you like that challenge when you got your guy against their guy and they're two great players?
Yeah. I mean, we're always going to take our guys in our one-on-one matchups. We believe in them, and they would say the same thing. That's what's special about it. That's what makes this rivalry so good. It's a physical matchup. It's nonstop. Doesn't matter what's at stake. And, it's getting to watch it from afar was fun. Now being in the middle of it's going to be even more fun.
You got a sense of how hated this rivalry is between these two teams? In the last 6 years, it's just been the Bucs and Saints winning the division.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you see it firsthand now being here in Tampa. But, yeah, you kind of watched it on TV, or I did in the past. So, yeah, you get a feeling this is the ones that, everybody has circled on their calendars when the schedule gets released. And looking forward to it being this early on a division game and, yeah, having the same record as them as well.
Baker, statistically speaking, looking at Mike's hot start, and Chris has not had maybe the production that Mike has had yet. It might even out later in the season. But has there been something that has happened on the field in terms of your reads that where Mike's just getting open that has led to kind of the lopsidedness in terms of the production yet?
Yeah, I think you look at, yardage-wise in particular, the third down play against the Bears, he catches a long touchdown pass. He also catches the pass and breaks it for 70 yards. And then in our tempo against the Vikings, we get a look to have him run a post route for a touchdown. So there's certain things that come throughout a game that, it's going to be balanced, but Mike's had those shots so far. But Chris has been a guy he's so valuable to us, and he knows that, but he's a guy that we have to continue to get involved in the offense because good things happen when he touches the ball. He's a consistent guy, does everything that you want to, and he's there when you need him.
Baker, after looking at film, what's maybe one thing that you personally would like to improve upon from week 3 to week 4?
Hitting the easy stuff, like I mentioned earlier, hitting Devin Tompkins on that kind of deep crosser play, taking some of those shots and getting even the ball to Mike in the end zone. It wasn't my best ball by any means. It could have made it easy on him. Just taking exactly what's there and making it easy on our guys because they're great playmakers. So there's no reason to make it harder. So I think obviously taking care of the ball, we'd like to eliminate the interception and then taking everything that's easy there for us.
You talked about Mike being so friendly at the top of his routes and just what a joy it's been kind of throwing to him. Are there glimpses of other things and other attributes, I guess, that you see of him in game that maybe you didn't see before in camp and practice?
It's just, it's kind of just put on a show on Sundays. He's great in practice. He does all those things, but it even elevates come game time. So you get to see it full speed with, having a game plan locked in throughout the week, the week of preparation, what he's saying he's going to do, exactly what he does. But it's just still fun to watch when you get out there with him.
When you are such a passionate player, because you get it, you're out there, you're trash talking guys and stuff, but when it is a team that's like this, where there is a history and guys like Mike have unfortunately taken themselves out of the game before, what do you kind of say as a leader on this team to get everyone to lock in, play with passion, but don't lose control of your emotions?
Yeah, I think it comes down to playing within the whistle, never hurting your team. You can play with passion. We're never going to take anything from anybody else. We're never going to back down. That's not the type of group we are, but we're also, we need to be smart. So there's things that I think everybody knows. It goes without saying that just don't hurt the team. We're going to protect each other, but don't hurt the team.
You played in the Superdome in college, won in college, but I don't think you've played in the NFL. Are there many teams, many stadiums you haven't played in, and you like the idea of a first game there?
Yeah, that was the only time I played there. I was my rookie year before I started playing early on, but played in most stadiums, but it's a great atmosphere. I remember that just from our week 2 game my rookie year. They're extremely loud, so we're looking forward to that great environment and seeing how our guys handle it.
You seem to be in a pretty good mood. I know you don't like the loss, but I know you were pumped up. You wore the Rondé shirt. It was Monday Night Football. It was a loss. Is it because it's a short week? You also know it's a long season to go, and you felt you guys did do some things?
It's a combination of all those things. Short week, yeah, you got to move forward. And I think the biggest thing, my attitude is there's a lot of things that we can control. Eagles are a great team. They made a lot of great plays. I'm not taking anything away from them. But there's a lot of things that we can control to get better. And that's what, when you look at on tape, we can fix those things. So it's in our control. It's in our hands. And that's why everybody needs to be positive. The world's not ending for us.
What would it mean, Baker, going into a bye week 3-1 with momentum?
Yeah, before the extra game on the season, you split up the season into the 4 quarters, groups of 4 games. And so for us, going into this bye week with 3-1 record would be tremendous. And obviously we would have liked to have been 4-0, but it's on to the next one. So 3-1 is the best we can do, and we need to have our eyes set on that.
You look at this critical matchup, given the fact that, you're not going to probably see a lot of the NFC South opponents until later in the year. Yeah. And this is a chance to kind of get a jump on this division. But if you're going to win the division, is this one that you really need to win?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, every game for us mindset-wise is a must-win. Now, this early in the season, it's not, you're not losing sleep over it, but it's an important one for us. Every game's important for us, but especially the division ones and especially this rivalry. So, can't say enough about it.
All right, welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Let's go out to our guys here. The madman himself, former XPW announcer, Mr. Mark Mancini. Welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. How are you doing tonight, bud?
Oh, my God. I was covering stuff, doing stuff, but I always had my mind set on Tampa, Florida, with the show that keeps sweeping the country each and every Wednesday. You, Ralph, Harry and the 0-3 Bears. And unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I love it, man. Hockey season's coming too, baby.
It is hockey season. Yes, watch out for the Tampa Bay Lightning and, of course, the Milwaukee Bucks making a big trade today. And as I was saying before we got on air, 500,000 reach in the last 90 days for the Sports Web and all of its content.
Holy Christ. Way to go, brother.
Yes, all of us are definitely a part of that. One of this guy right here, he's definitely a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Pittsburgh's newest radio personality, Beaver County, Mr. Ralph Williams. Welcome to the evolution of sports television. We got a little bit of a feedback there. So let me go ahead and get you out real quick. Let me see if we can get that worked out.
He looked good. He was up against a brick wall. He looked like JT the Brick.
I know he did, man. He definitely did. So I got to ask you once Ralph gets back in here, but what did you think about The Rock appearing on SmackDown last week? Him and John Cena, The Rock coming out on the Pat McAfee show and saying, look, we had a signed deal. We had a handshake. Well, not a signed deal, but a handshake agreement that it was going to be Roman Reigns versus The Rock. And now he's kind of hinted at it. He's come back. I mean, do you think that's what we're headed to at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia? Dwayne Johnson, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Yes or no?
No doubt about it. I've been saying that for a while. We thought it was going to be in L.A. They pushed it now to Philly. It's a big one. WrestleMania 40. But, I mean, the bloodline's moving. You know, they're not stopping. They're adding pieces maybe. Nia Jax could be going over there. We don't know that yet, but I like this whole Jay and, you know, Uso and his brother there and Jimmy. And this is getting really good. But when the hell is the Judgment Day going to put themselves out of misery there, man? Each and every week, it's an embarrassment.
It doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon. Let's see if we got Ralph Williams' problem. There we go. I cannot hear any echo, so good stuff. Ralph, welcome to the evolution of sports.
All right, I try to hook up a nice microphone here, but unfortunately it didn't work the way I wanted it to. So.
All right, so I got to ask you, of course, the big news, not only that SmackDown is no longer going to be on Fox starting in October of 2024. The reason USA will be now featuring SmackDown on Friday nights for $1.4 billion. Billion with a B. Mark, good move by WWE to move from Fox to USA Network starting in October.
I've always said, you know, relationships are more priceless. Money comes and goes, and I will always stick by that one. I think they screwed themselves, even though they got bigger money, pulling it off of Fox where people don't have cable and everything. Bad move. And I'm thinking if you make a deal with Vince McMahon, sometimes you might be making a deal with the devil.
Yeah, well, and I tell you right now, I think Vince McMahon is not going to be a part of this TKO Holdings going forward. I got to read this comment here. This is really good. Men in their 60s talking about fake fighting. Wow, what's wrong with you guys? Well, I don't know what's wrong with you if you're watching this.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. See, Bleacher Report is covering this. ESPN is covering this. And we're talking
CBS Sports.
CBS Sports is covering this. So if you have a problem with it, here's what you can do. In fact, here, I'll go ahead and do it for you. You ready? Boom. There you go. You're banned.
What's he talking about?
I'm in such a great mood tonight. See, right there, that jackass comment from you.
You always got to get one person, Peter. It's always one.
What's the guy talking about? The Sports Web's hit 500,000. Jealousy's human nature. I mean, we got to become immune, like Deion Sanders says, to these naysayers. I don't see them. I don't hear them.
I mean, I got to do it because I got to Dikembe Mutombo you tonight because that's the kind of mood I'm in. And I don't get a chance to do it at my sales job during the day.
Well, no, that guy wishes he had 5 listeners.
There you go. Exactly. All right,
hey,
Ralph.
Hey, Peter, I heard you say something about you got a daylight job now. What is it, bussing tables?
No, it's not busting tables. No, I am an executive producer, co-host of the JP.
Yeah, I know you are. I've listened.
Wow.
I've watched the show.
I love it, man. I am so proud
I've watched
of
the
you
show.
and Ralph
JP Peterson, you do a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Ralph, what do you think about SmackDown moving to USA? I mean, even though you're getting lots of money, is this wise? And then on top of that, guys, we have not talked about Raw and NXT because it looks like they're going to be looking for a new home. The talk is Amazon Prime, Disney, Fox Sports 1 possibly pick. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, I could see Peacock more than anything else because of NBC being involved with it, NBC Universal. So, Ralph, what do you think about SmackDown moving to USA starting in October 2024?
Well, I agree with Mark and yourself that I don't think it was a good move. They should have stayed on Fox. But WWE did this to themselves. They did not produce the contract that was said to be with Fox. A certain amount of money that they told Fox they would guarantee to make for them, and they fell through on the deal. Fox got mad and said, forget it, it's over. And, you have to live up to your contracts, Peter and Mark. You can't, just because you think you're the WWE, oh, well, I didn't make the money that was said to be made, and, I could just do whatever I want. No, you can't. It doesn't work that way. And I heard a rumor that they're going to put 4 special events on NBC, the WWE special events. What they are, I don't know. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, Saturday Night Main Event. I think that's what it's leading.
That's coming back. Yeah, and it'll be on NBC.
Peter, if I could chime in on this, it kind of reminds me. We were talking to a guy today and switching subjects a little. Andy Dolich, who wrote a book, Goodbye Oakland, on the A's. This is what ends up happening. These billionaires come in. They don't know nothing about the businesses pretty much, but they got loads and loads of money, and they start, creating their own breaks. And we said this about franchises moving too, rumored, with the Tampa Bay Rays going to Montreal to play half their games and all this. And the A's moving, if you're losing money, these guys that are coming in, and maybe these commissioners need to really look at these things and say, if you're really losing money, sell it to a local investor, because you know what's going to end up happening here eventually. People can't afford to take their kids to these events. And then what's going to happen is, the parents are going to be moved on to an assisted living, God bless them. And the kids aren't going to know what the hell a sporting event is because their parents never took them because they couldn't afford it. So this is what's going to end up happening here if they don't sit here and realize that you got to have half price things. You got to work it. It's not all about the money, man. You come into this world with nothing, you're definitely leaving this world with nothing.
That's it. You're absolutely right, and you got to get the best deal. And right now, it looks like Vince McMahon is not going to be a part of this whole transaction. It looks like, even though he passed through the deal. I mean, Mark, what do you think about Vince not being a part of this deal?
Well, not only that, the first thing I wanted to talk about on that deal is I don't trust Vince is about as far as you can throw him from here to Oklahoma.
Right.
And not only that, look at all the wrestlers that were released. Look at a guy like Dolph Ziggler that's put blood, sweat, and tears for 20 years in your company, and you couldn't find a role for him. You kick him out the door with a 401k?
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, what did you make of that, Ralph? Dolph Ziggler being cut. That was one of the big there.
I thought it was a crime. I mean, that guy was loyal, and he was a Grand Slam champion. So it wasn't like, this guy was a bum, like some other guys that they kept. Okay. But he wasn't a bum. But I feel bad, I don't feel bad for WWE, and what's going to be great, what WWE cuts, AEW gains.
Yeah.
Well, that's absolutely right. You're absolutely correct about that. We're on Turnbuckle Talk here on the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the madman himself, former XPW announcer Mark Mancini, and, of course, Pittsburgh's newest radio personality, Mr. Ralph Williams, Beaver County Radio. The other big news of the week here, the last couple of days, Triple H welcomes Jade Cargill.
Oh, yeah.
From AEW. In fact, he said this, the CCO, of course, Mr. Paul Levesque. Triple H took to X, formerly Twitter, to welcome the newest addition to the roster, a dominant athlete who's here to change the game. Join me in welcoming the newest WWE superstar, Jade Cargill, to the WWE Universe. Gentlemen, what do we think of this? Mark first.
Oh, I think she's going to restore order. I like her. I think it's going to be a game changer, and she's going to come in here and wreak havoc. Kind of like when Shayna Baszler kind of came in this thing, and, we're seeing Nia Jax come back in this. I think you need these kind of women to restore a little order. And yeah, I like this move. I really liked her in AEW. I really like her coming into the WWE.
Ralph, what do you say?
AEW has a weak women's division to begin with. They just got weaker. And I think it's a great thing. I agree with Mark, and I think it's a great thing for the WWE. Their women's division needs to improve just a little bit more to make it awesome. And, I think that I would like to see that women's pay-per-view again that they had years ago. That was a success. So, I mean, that would be great. The women's division in WWE has just got stronger.
And I tell you right now, she talked about it on TMZ through ESPN, how, not only Rhea Ripley is there, of course, Becky the Man, Charlotte, Bianca Belair. That is a dream match right there.
Yes.
Nia Jax. I mean,
hey, Piper Niven's back.
Piper Niven's.
I mean, and she's a former Jacksonville basketball player, joined AEW in 2019 and really rose to stardom with her 508-day reign, undefeated streak spanning back to 2021, I believe 61-0, lost to Chris Statlander on September 15th AEW Rampage, and that was basically it for her, but also lost before that to Statlander. She tells ESPN, she was asked which brand she will be on, and she says that it has been decided, but guess what? Everybody's going to have to tune in to every network and see where I'm going. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to stir the pot and get people guessing where I'm going to be. So just tune in. Gentlemen, would it be smart on WWE's part to not only put her on Raw, but also on SmackDown instead of one separate brand?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I really think that would be a good idea. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, we've talked about this before when you compare Raw and SmackDown. I think SmackDown's the premier thing. Everybody can see it. And, it's going to be interesting now, where they put her. But I think SmackDown would be the logical choice because I don't know how many people sit up and watch the last hour of Raw. I mean, especially if you got to go to work.
Well, you're exactly right. And Ralph, what do you say? Do you say SmackDown or Raw or both?
Well, if they can use her on both, it works out. I'd rather see her probably on Raw. SmackDown, unless they raise SmackDown to 3 hours and cut Raw down to 2, whatever they decide to do there, or cut Raw down to 2 and just have both shows. Yeah. I think Raw would be her probably best fit. I'd like to see her go up against Rhea Ripley.
Well, and that's certainly possible. I think that's a WrestleMania match, gentlemen. She also was asked on ESPN by Mark Raimondi, who broke the news that she was leaving AEW at the time. Has she been given star treatment upon her arrival? She said, yes, I would say that. I think they see that's in me. I think they know that I work hard, that I bring that hard work over here to the PC, and that I do what it takes to be a household name and to create that legacy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, that's what they brought her in for. I think, this lady will turn this whole division and
there you go.
Mark. Go ahead.
We just switched places. That's all.
Yeah. When you look at the Bianca Belair and everything, I mean, this is going to be, another subject to get into, guys, because we don't know if she's going to heel, or something. And the women's division can get really interesting because now it seems like you got all faces going in this thing. So it's going to be interesting to see where the heel turns become because right darn well between Bayley and Neo Sky and all that. Neo Sky, I think, is going face here eventually.
Well, she may be. Ralph, what do you think of those comments by Cargill?
Well, I think Jade Cargill's going to be a great wrestler, and she's going to submit her legacy in the WWE. She started this, like Triple H said to Cody Rhodes, it's the beginning of the story. I think her story is going to be in the WWE, and it's going to continue on. She could be here for a while. I hope she is. I hope they don't do to her what they've done to others. So we'll see what happens. All depends on what creative does with her.
Well, that's exactly right. I think it comes down to creative. She definitely can be a star.
Yes.
She's already a star, but she can be better in the ring. I think there's a lot of fans that have been critical of her run with AEW as she's limited in her moveset, but she has the body, she has the look, she can talk on the mic, she's already known. WWE can make her better, and I trust Triple H and creative as long as Vince.
Tony Khan laid an egg on this, guys. Tony Khan blew it. I mean, with Jade Cargill.
And I just think it just comes down to this. It's an inevitable, if you will, to steal a line from Thanos from Avengers. Eventually you're going to go from AEW to WWE. Why? Because that's the pinnacle of your career. It doesn't matter what AEW does. They put on great shows. They get some ratings. They have some superstars.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're a wrestler, a young wrestler like she is, the pinnacle is WWE. That's the major goal. No matter what Khan would do, if she was already made, her mind up was made that she wanted to go to WWE, she was going to do it. This is what Kenny Omega.
The WWE is the New York Yankees, and the AEW is the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pretty good comparison there. Although AEW does try to spend money, at least I'm just saying
they do.
It's about tradition, and when you get into wrestling, that's your dream. It's WWE.
Yeah, real quick, ROH is hurting real bad, and I'm hearing Tony Khan's going to sell it, and everything's going to be pushed into AEW.
All right, so we'll see how that works. We got 10 minutes left, fellas, and we got to get off. I'd like to stay on a little bit longer here, but I got to do a podcast afterwards. No quarter giveaway. This is what Kenny Omega had to say. This may be news to a lot of fans out there. But when one wrestler goes from one company to another, we tend to always wish them the best and cheer for them while they embark on their new journey.
Yeah.
Generally, it's embarrassing and shameful that some fans aren't capable of the same, and that was Kenny Omega. Let's switch gears to AEW. Malachi Black has been dealing with a calf tear and a hyperextended knee. The rumor was out there, the 38-year-old, I didn't know he was that old. Of course, he's the husband of Selena Vega, and of course,
I knew
the
that.
ruler of the House of Black. Well, people were saying that it was a back injury because he's dealt with a back injury in the past. Here's what he had to say. About a year ago, I made a video about rehabbing a back injury that I had. The video shows the process. I talk about overcoming that injury, strengthening my back. After the video was posted, people started running with the idea that, he has a bad back and therefore A, B, or C, which is not the case at all. And for some reason, that has found its way back. Again, the narrative is, he's not had a singles match, etc., because he's had a bad back. He's nearly retired because of it. And none of these things are true. Why am I not having singles matches? I don't know. I think it's because they really wanted us, the House of Black, to do 6-mans and also not in the 6-man to hide said non-existing injury. Again, rest assured, I do not have a bad back. And the reason why I'm at home right now is due to a minor injury, which is I have a slight calf tear, which sounds not minor at all, sounds very painful, and a hyperextension in my knee, which is almost nursed back, almost ready to go back on the road again. I appreciate the concern. The reality is I'm fine. You will see me sooner rather than later. But again, I appreciate the concern. What do we think of Malachi Black ever since he left WWE to AEW? Has he lived up to those expectations? I think he has, but I'd like to see him not only be a part of House of Black, but I think he's a singles competitor, and he deserves an opportunity to go for the World Heavyweight Championship. What do you guys say?
Well, first of all, he fell off a cliff in the WWE. The back problems were there. And then, they built him up like they build all these guys up. He was built up like Keith Lee and all of them. Then all of a sudden, it was like a 15-minute car chase. You didn't see these guys. They were kind of put out the pasture. So, now he goes over there, and now we're having the same things. After a while, Peter and Ralph, consistency comes to the forefront here. If you have a problem all over the place, people are going to look at you. They can see maybe once, maybe twice, shame on me. But if you keep having these same problems, people are going to look at you different. Yeah, maybe he hasn't had a fair shot. But still, the consistent back problems have followed him around wherever he's gone.
What do you say here, Ralph?
Oh, I agree with Mark. He just hasn't been able to get his footing and get rolling in AEW. And when you have injuries, it's hard to. And then the older you get, it's hard to even deal with injuries. So here we are. This guy I thought he was a good
38.
wrestler at WWE, wasn't used right, and now he's in AEW. He's in involved in the House of Black and things like that, but. When you have injuries like that, it's difficult to try to recover the older you get.
Well, I tell you what, quick shout out here to Christopher Cole with a chat here, a YouTube chat. Appreciate you. Here's an SC for you, $1.99. Appreciate you, buddy. And that is YouTube Super Chats, definitely available there, and also Facebook stars if you like the content. Let's wrap it up here, fellas, and then we'll get off. Let's go out to Jey Uso. According to Bleacher Report, has been a main focus of Raw over the past few weeks since getting traded from SmackDown. According to Fightful Select, Felix Upton of Ringside News, sources said WWE has long-term plans for Uso that have already begun, and he will continue to be heavily featured for the next 2 months. Of course, Uso broke away from the bloodline over the summer, challenged his cousin Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at SummerSlam. Reigns retained thanks to interference from Jay's twin brother Jimmy Uso, which led to Jay quitting WWE, of course, brought back by Cody Rhodes. We're not sure who's going to be traded over to the other side yet. I still think it may be Cody. Who knows? It most likely will be, so he can finish the story, or it'll be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. What do we think of Jey Uso here, Mark?
Well, it's another story in the chapter of the Bloodline, which is a long-running, it's almost like a TV show like Dallas. Who shot J.R. Ewing? I mean, here we go. And, one of these guys are going to pay for it for, abandoning the Bloodline. Reigns has some powerful allies, and Heyman's part of that, Solo Sikoa. We're going to probably see Rikishi in this mix. If The Rock's coming back, hey, man, they can empty out the whole tank, man. On this one and to build it up for WrestleMania, but it's kind of funny how we got this thing going. And then, like I said, I don't want to segue too much out of it, but what the hell is the Judgment Day trying to pick up on the Bloodline? And the Hobbit, the Hobbit's there every week. Shouldn't he be in a featured film somewhere?
I tell you what, Ralph, go ahead and expound on that.
Well, I agree with Mark about the Judgment Day. I've never been a Judgment Day fan to begin with. But as far as the Jey Uso thing, I think he ended up in Raw because Cody Rhodes moved him there. And you're right, Peter. They could be moving Cody Rhodes to SmackDown to go up against Roman Reigns. But what that does is that takes it out of The Rock out of the equation, because if they're going to put him back in a match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, where does The Rock go here? That's the question. So. That's what I'm wondering. And I don't know what they have planned for Cody Rhodes at this point. In fact, we have to wait to see what Endeavor does here with this.
Yeah.
Agree. Good stuff.
And Peter, I know we're up against it, but what is Bobby Lashley doing? What do we do with,
well, the new Hurt business. You're doing the whole new Hurt business. Karrion Kross, I have no idea what they're going to do with him and Scarlett.
Oh, he's another one. Yeah, it's just...
I feel like Karrion Kross should go to AEW, build him up in the House of Black, somebody like that, and I think he could be built up there. I don't know what they're doing with him. I trust Triple H and creative with him, but they've kind of dropped the ball, so I'm kind of curious to see what they do with him going forward.
So proud of you, Peter, with the 500,000 listeners. You and Ralph are doing one hell of a job, and I'm just a piece of the puzzle with you guys each and every Wednesday. I'm so blessed to be a part of it, and Harry is 0-3 Chicago Bears.
Well, there you go. 0-3 Chicago Bears. Mark, thanks a lot for your time.
I love you, brother.
See you later.
Since the Chase Claypool trade.
There you go. Ralph right there. Mark right there. Turnbuckle Talk was on. Thanks a lot to all the guests for tonight. Of course, Leo Haggerty, the legend himself, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of the sports web. Definitely tune in tomorrow to the JP Peterson Show. From 10 a.m. to 12 noon, he'll be on with us. And You Bet Your Ass segment. And, of course, the guys right there from Turnbuckle Talk, whether you like them or not, We're still going to do that show. The madman himself, Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer. And, of course, the bodyguard of the Berg, Pittsburgh's newest radio personality, Ralph Williams. All that and more will get you covered for Bucs versus the Saints. Not sure where I'm going to be on Sunday. Who knows? But I'll be here for the post-game show, so keep it locked. Do me a favor, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Like I Love St. Pete, Amped Up Sports, and, of course, The Hub and Bucs Life. And do 3 things for me here, as we're only a couple days away from Bucs versus the Saints, a hated rival. 3 things. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. Have a great night.
Yeah.